So you're thinking about moving or relocating in the San Antonio area in 2021 and you want to know what the real estate market is like down here in San Antonio, Texas? Well, stick around because in this video we're going to go over just that. What up, y'all? It's Travis Stiegel with eXp Realty right here in the San Antonio area. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, playing, working, hanging out, being a part of the community right here in the San Antonio area, then hit that subscribe button and click that little bell. That way you're notified every time we drop a new video. And honestly, my team and me are getting calls every single week from folks just like you who are looking into the San Antonio area. So if you're thinking about moving or relocating anywhere in the San Antonio area, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We got your back when moving to Texas. All right, let's get into it. All right, so you're thinking about moving to or relocating in the San Antonio area. And right now, it is May in 2021. It was just Mother's Day this past weekend. And let me tell you, the real estate market is hot. And it's not just the San Antonio area, it's countrywide, nationwide. Nationwide, we have 1.9 months of inventory left. So that's if there was not another house put on the market or finished being built right now, that we would completely run out of inventory in 1.9 months nationwide. Here in the, New Braunfels area where I work a lot, we only have 1 month. Now San Antonio, we have a little bit more. We have, that 1.9 average. So in this video, we're just gonna talk about San Antonio. San Antonio is, an amazing market, amazing place to live. And personally, I love being able to help families purchase and sell their houses in San Antonio, Texas. And it just brings me a ton of joy being able to see families relocate, from somewhere up north where it's nice and freezing cold down here to the south. And, we go to that far west side of San Antonio and we see all these huge hills and what I like to call our Texas mountains, and people are just blown away with the beauty. But with that being said, let's talk about the actual market. The actual market down here in San Antonio, like I said, it's competitive, it's hot. San Antonio, thankfully, is not as competitive as some of these other places. Like Austin, Texas is just ridiculous. Prices are going $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 over list price, whereas in San Antonio, you don't have that issue. Yes, majority of the houses, especially in that $300,000 or $400,000 less range, are going over list, considerably over list, but not $40,000, $50,000 over list. I think it's pretty average right now. And like I said, we're in May 2021 for houses under $300,000 or $400,000 to go $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over list price. So something to be prepared for when this is the kind of market you're going up against is either make sure you have plenty of cash on hand. That way, if your appraisal comes in low, that way you have money to cover it, because it's something that's frequently happening where, in order to get a house, you're having to make a very strong offer. And just because you want to offer $270,000 on a house that's listed for $250,000, well, if the appraisal comes in at, let's just say the difference $260,000, that remaining $10,000, if you don't have that principal, a big down payment for your loan paid, then the remaining balance between your principal and the actual appraisal value you're going to be stuck with. So, like I said, just make sure you have plenty of cash on hand, or you're going to put a big down payment to where your principal is a lot lower than what you're trying to get the mortgage for. So, it's just something to keep in mind that, And it's hard, you know. I feel for the families that have been saving and saving and saving to have the money just for their down payment and the fees associated with their loan. You know, on average, you know, if it's a $250,000 house and you're putting 3% down, you need to have, you know, around $15,000 or so saved up just to cover the 3% down, which isn't a huge down payment, and then all the other mortgage fees and title fees associated with taking out that loan. Me personally, I can't go over all those fees with you because they're not related towards the real estate side. They're related to the lending side. So I think, you know, in one of my future videos, I will have my lender, my preferred lender, Caliber Home Loans, on here to just go over what some of those fees are, how you could get around some of them, drop some of them. You know, like I know one of the typical fees that they'll show you on your CD, your closing disclosure, is a survey. You'll need a survey, but well, that's like a fee that most likely is going to get dropped because the house that you're purchasing hopefully has a good survey that the title office can use. So there's just a few different fees that you might want to go over in detail with your lending officer whenever you come across that. But you know, there's different ways and methods that we could still get houses purchased, have money to cover what the difference is in appraisal. You know, I'm currently working with some clients right now that they're purchasing a house from someone for sell by owner, and I'm working with the buyers, and thankfully the for sale by owners are really working with us, working with the lender, working with my buyers to make sure that this is a smooth and easy transaction, and they're willing to give a little bit of money towards the closing cost to my buyers just in case my buyers need some money to cover the difference from the appraisal. But you know, I just want to make sure that you're prepared. There's a good chance that things are going to change. I think as more people are willing to sell their house, more builders are finishing houses, the interest rate on loans is going to increase a little bit, and that's just going to level out the playing field because it's just crazy right now. There's very low inventory, very high demand. The higher interest rate on the loans is going to lower the demand, and then the houses being finished and people being willing to sell their house is going to increase the supply. So hopefully it's just going to level everything out. I still think that we're not in a bubble. I think if things continue to go the way they're going for, you know, another year or so, then yes, we'll technically probably be in a bubble. But I do not see us having any prices go way down significantly within the next year or 2 years. I just have too much faith, and especially in the Texas economy and Texas in general, that people are wanting to move here, and unless something crazy happens here, there's not going to be a lot of people wanting to leave. If anything, what you're seeing is some more of the local Texans that have been here for a long time in some of these cities that are starting to just experience mass growth are moving out towards the country into different towns that, you know, most outsiders, most people out of state, they don't know about. And so I just don't see people exiting Texas anytime soon. And I just continue to see more businesses and corporations and people wanting to relocate to Texas. So I honestly don't think Texas is in a bubble. I think there are other markets in this country that are probably experiencing a little bit of a bubble going on, because this is a nationwide issue with low inventory, high demand. Prices across the board are just continuing to rise and rise and rise. And then also with the Federal Reserve and everything that they're doing, where they're just printing money like crazy, you know, I think that's going to cause some inflation, and the inflation is going to cause, you know, the house prices to rise. It's just something to be aware of. I think that if you're looking to purchase a house, don't be scared of the current market. You know, just be prepared. Make sure you have a trusted advisor on your side to go into this transaction together, because it's going to take some planning, and you're going to need to know what you're up against. You're going to need to know that to the table with the best offer every single time. A lot of listing agents, when they're helping someone sell their house, they're not going to be able to tell you yes or no or anything like that. They got to keep their clients' protection, their clients' interest at hand. And so when you find that house you love, you got to go all in. You got to go for it. I know, in certain markets they're waiving contingencies, a contingency for an appraiser and a contingency for an inspection. So if that's something that you're willing to waive, and you see a house that checks all your boxes, and you're okay with not getting an inspection, and you don't want an option period, that's going to strengthen your offer. If you know you have plenty of cash on hand, and that it doesn't matter what the appraised value comes in, even if it's lower than what the loan is that you're applying for, but you have plenty of cash on hand, then you can waive the appraisal contingency. These are all things that you should go over with your trusted advisor. If you're moving to the San Antonio area, hopefully it's me and you give me that opportunity, and I would love for that opportunity to work with you. I'm going to make sure that we are prepared going into this transaction. And it's funny, I say like we're prepared to go into battle, because that's what we are. We're battling up against a lot of times 5, 10, 15, 20 other buyers. Some of these other buyers that we're competing against are investors with cash. When you're competing with an investor with cash, you have to know what are the things you could do to make your offer as strong as that cash offer. And so waiving an appraisal contingency is one of the same things that will make it just as strong as cash. And then one thing is, let's say you're not an investor and you're a family that's relocating to this area, or from out of state, and you're relocating to this area for a new job, a new opportunity, and you're a growing family. Most of the time, I will sit down with you and we'll go over the finite details of your family and what led you here to this position, and what's brought you here to this place. And then I'll do a cover letter of a story about your family and what's brought you to this area, and why you love this house, and why it's going to be perfect for you in the future, and how you're going to grow and flourish in this community. And I'll write a cover letter. If we're going to write a cover letter with waiving our contingency on an appraisal, most likely that seller, if they get to read that cover letter, and they could either choose between some out-of-state big money investor or this new family that is looking to have a better life here in the home that they used to live in. Most of the time, as long as the money's somewhat similar, that seller's going to choose that family over that investor. It's not that case every time, but I know this last deal that I recently closed, it was that case. Thankfully, the listing agent said, hey, if you could put together a cover letter for your clients, this would definitely go a long way with my customer, with my client. And so sure enough, I put together an amazing cover letter letting the seller know that my clients, the buyers, what their situation was, and how this house was going to just benefit their family for many years to come. And we ended up getting the deal. And then it was funny, when I went to go collect the keys and make sure everything was all taken care of at the house, the sellers were still there, and I had a chance to talk with them, and they said just that. They said that they almost sold their house to a huge purchasing rental company that goes around the country buying up houses and renting them out. And they said it just didn't feel right. They said they would rather have their house go to a family that they knew was going to benefit the same way they were able to benefit from this house. And so it was just amazing to hear that from the sellers. Like I said, not every seller is that way. Some people are all about the money and they could care less who lives in the house. And then you have other people that it's sentimental for them, and they want to know that that house is going to be taken care of and loved for the same way they loved it. So, you know, if you're thinking about moving or relocating in the San Antonio area, just be prepared. You know, go into it with an open mind. Know that the very first house that you find, that you fall in love with, there's probably a good chance you're not going to end up in it, and it's going to take multiple offers at multiple different homes before you finally end up at one. And when these offers are going on, you know, the best thing I could say is try not to think about it. You know, go out there with your agent, hopefully me. We could look at houses, find something you love, and then we'll iron out all the details of who's paying for the title policy, how long the option period is, how much money you're going to give for the option period, how much earnest money you're going to get down. And after you get all that ironed out, just, you know, try not to think about it. It's, you know, devastating to me when I hear clients talk about how stressed they were and how they weren't able to sleep the night before because they didn't know what the sellers were going to do. And I can't do anything to make you not worry about it, and I understand. You know, it's your family's roof over their head. It's where they're going to live. I understand that it's very emotionally consuming, but you know, just be prepared. It's a crazy market right now. We're still winning victories. We're still getting clients into houses every single day. But now if you're thinking about selling your house, you have the upper hand. Like I said in this video, if you're thinking about selling your house, you're going to have tons of eyes on that house. You're going to have multiple offer situations. Just know that, you know, some of the things we went over in this video is like, if you're selling, one of the things you want to look at is what type of financing the potential buyer has, because if you listed your house for sale for $250 and you got someone coming in making $280 and they're going with a VA loan, and you know this house isn't worth $280,000 and they have a contingency for an appraisal, there's a chance that that VA loan, since it's 0% down, that they, unless they have that money in their bank account to cover the difference of appraisal, there's a good chance it's not going to go very smoothly. You know, either they're going to come back and ask you to lower their price, or you know, at that point you guys are just going to negotiate and have to figure it out. What we're seeing a lot of times is the deal's falling through, and either they're opening it back up to the potential buyers that made offers the first time, or they're just putting it back on the market. And so that's why these cash offers are so strong, is because you don't have to worry about an appraisal. The deal can normally close super fast, and so it's just things to think about. If there's anything in this video that you would like more information about, or you would like me to explain to you in further detail, please give me a call, send me a text message, shoot me an email, add me on Facebook. However you want to get a hold of me, you know, reach out, drop me a comment. But I got your back when moving or relocating to the San Antonio area. Thanks. Bye.